me to discuss the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
On a little late, but we're here.
We're
You
here.
know what? We thought it was Friday.
It feels like Friday. So
We're
I
on Wiz Khalifa time. He's always running late.
It feels like Friday, so let's just jump right into it today. It's official, guys. A sequel of the box office hit Crazy Rich Asians is in the works. Warner Brothers has confirmed the sequel is currently in the planning stages with director John M. Chu. The film will be based on China Rich Girlfriend, the second book in author Kevin Kwan's trilogy. Guys, it happened already.
I mean, I can't wait to see the sequel.
Well, yeah, it's in development. It's not greenlit yet, but the Crazy Rich Asians made over $35 million in the first 5 days. It's the biggest comedy opening of the past year, so it's most likely going to be a sequel, which is great. We discussed on the show, they turned down this Netflix offer, which guaranteed the trilogy.
Right.
So the fact that most likely going to get it through traditional theatrical release is great.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the first one, which I'm seeing on Saturday.
Oh, good. It's really good. You'll
I
enjoy
can't
it.
wait to see it. Don't you love when, like, the moment?
I don't want to ruin it for
No,
you.
I know.
Spoil it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you.
It's really great, though.
But I think, we do have to realize it's going to take a while to get this sequel. So the director has to do In the Heights, which is I cannot talk today. Lin-Manuel Miranda's amazing Broadway play that I love, and I can't wait to see the musical. So he's going to have to put that out first, and that's in 2020. So we're not going to get this movie for probably a couple more years.
Yeah, but I can't wait because I am actually so excited and so happy for the cast because just watching them do press for this movie, you could tell that the experience was so special for them. It was just like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that they were just like, this is it. And to just like have the possibility that it's all going to happen again for them, like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, you mentioned the cast, and they were actually here recently at Build, and Constance Wu was talking about representation and what it meant for her to be on the film. I think we have a clip of that.
I've learned why representation matters so much. I learned how it makes people feel when not just their faces are reflected on screen, but their stories, how that affects confidence, character. With Fresh Off the Boat, it was very similar to Crazy Rich Asians. All the screenings we did, people were crying. And it's a comedy, So people were crying just because they had never felt seen. And still, there are some people who don't feel seen with shows like Fresh Off the Boat, obviously, because we can't represent everyone. And same with Crazy Rich Asians, we can't represent everyone. But what it taught me is that if you do one and you do it really well, they will make more.
She was right.
Yeah.
Woo!
They're going to make more.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see people that have been dying to get representation, continue to get representation. I hope even more people get representation. I mean, when I heard that Angelina Jolie was bisexual, I was really happy about it.
I didn't know if you were having a serious conversation.
I couldn't tell. I don't know. I want to have sex with her, but I'm also happy that she's bi.
Yeah. It's always good to hear when someone's bi. What's interesting about this too what?
Nothing.
You hate me?
I'm gonna swallow it.
Okay.
I'm gonna swallow it on this one. Keep going.
Okay. China's involvement with this next movie though is gonna be an issue. I read because one, they don't like broadcasting their uber wealthy class because it's supposed to be a communist country, and two, their censorship. The Crazy Rich Asians has not yet been released yet in China, so that's also something they're gonna have to overcome with this next movie.
What I am most excited about is the possible plot line. So it's going to kind of expand the love story of Charlie and Astrid. And Charlie's played by Harry Shum, who we know from Glee. He's like the amazing dancer.
Yes.
And so I think they cast it perfectly because he's not in the first movie at all, but he's so beloved and he has such a fan base. So the fact that he's going to be the possible lead of the sequel is just so smart and premeditated on their part. And just I think it guarantees that people are going to go see the second one, which is what we want.
Great.
Yeah.
We're excited.
I can't wait. Woo!
Something else I'm really excited about.
That is it.
Comedian Tiffany Haddish is keeping busy. The Girls Trip stars landed an hour-long stand-up special for streaming giant Netflix. The special is expected to tape and release in early 2019. I'm so happy for Tiffany. Yeah, she ready.
She ready.
I'm excited to see what her stand-up is like. I know she came up doing stand-up, but during this whole moment of Tiffany Haddish, that's not really what people have been paying attention to. So I'm very curious about how her hour will come together. I love ripping apart stand-up.
I don't know if you know a lot about her backstory, how she came up in the foster care system. She was married to a man. I think they got married twice and divorced twice. And I've seen her, some of her stand-up at like the Laugh Factory, and it's really funny, and it really does pull from all of her personal experiences. So I think if she has a full hour, it's gonna probably follow the arc of her life being in foster care. But she has a way of like making light of it. She was like, oh, I'm good with white people because I had so many like white foster families. And she like makes a joke of it. So it's a way, I think, to show like how far she's come, but also show like where her humor comes from.
So maybe like that is not even what I expected when I heard her, because I'm so used to seeing her in just like loud, goofy roles. So like to see her open up about that in a way that like if you don't know about her past, that will be really interesting.
Yeah, I would hope that she'd go, you know, usually when you have an hour, it's like kind of like the story of your life in a way, and they make you, so I would
Unless you're Amy Schumer and want to talk about how your pussy smells for an hour.
that too.
Depends what you want
The
to do.
leather special?
Yeah. People with stinky pussies need representation too.
They absolutely need, and I actually love Amy Schumer, but that special, it was focused on kind of that.
Yeah.
But she's amazing.
But it's huge for her. I mean, Netflix is investing a ton of money in these stand-up specials, like, you know, Chris Rock and all these big comedians. So I was really happy for Tiffany. And like you said, I may be misquoting this, but she was on Ellen once to talk about how, like, one foster family told her to hate Jews, and the next foster family, they were Jewish. So she was very confused of like, wait, what? Like, and she's really had a lot of humor and a very difficult upbringing.
Exactly.
So I'm very happy for her. Like, you know, she's in that new movie with Kevin Hart coming out, with Night School, whatever. That Tracy Jordan show, The Last OG, like Tyler Perry movie, Whoopi Goldberg. Like, she's doing so much.
She has 3 movies coming out
Yeah,
this
like
year.
I'm so happy for her.
She's so busy. I pray to God she doesn't wear the dress in the special though. I think it's time.
I want her to.
I think she might. I feel like she might.
It's a time for a new outfit. She can buy a new dress and wear that for the next, like, you know, year.
True. I also think it'd be interesting to see Netflix try to do a talk show with her, because I feel like she has the perfect personality, even though I think she's a little too big for that maybe right now, but maybe since they have the budget.
Well, yeah, I mean, Netflix is trying to figure out talk shows. We talked about that yesterday. But she would be good at that. But like you said, she's so busy right now. I don't know if she could, like, dedicate
I don't know
the
if
time
she
to
would
do
be
it.
good at that. I feel like having a talk show is hard. You have to do it every single day. There's like this structure to it. And I think what's beautiful about Tiffany is that she is just so spontaneous. So I think to be put in the confines of a talk show would be tough for her.
I see what you're saying. However, when Chelsea had her talk show on Netflix,
Yeah,
I felt like it was really laid back. A lot of the episodes, it was just like a pre-tape of her going to dinner with people.
Yeah.
And I could so see Tiffany like rocking that format, just like hanging with people, having drinks, talking.
Well, maybe that's a new format, like kind of like David Letterman is doing his own thing. Like maybe she should do her version of that, which is like just Tiffany going to dinner with people.
Is this just our idea?
Yeah, it's literally what
I
picture
think we
the
should
show.
make it. I mean, we should be producing for her.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great.
Obviously, we're all huge fans of her. I can't wait to see the stand-up,
She's
like I
just
said.
great. Her energy, doesn't it just make you smile?
I know. I feel like she's so effortlessly just always positive and fun and funny that I would trust her to do anything.
Yeah, it's true.
She's a good person.
She can host my funeral. Yeah.
We love Tiffany Haddish. It's maybe the one person we all agree on. We're like,
no one just agreed that we all just love. Yeah, that's great. That's a first.
for you, girl.
Yeah. Good for you. And now it's time for our guest. Debbie Stoller and Laurie Henzel are the founders of Bust, an original women's lifestyle magazine and website that covers news, entertainment, and beyond from a unique feminist perspective. And thanks to our next guest, Bust has been the magazine for women with something to get off their chest for 25 years now. Everyone, please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Debbie Stoller and Laurie Henzel.
Nice to meet you, Lucas. Nice to meet you.
Welcome. You can
Nice
walk
to meet you,
around
I'm
now,
Hi,
Lucas.
how are you? Nice to meet you, Emily. Oh my God, look at us, we're twinning.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Ooh, I love this pink. You're like waking me up a little bit.
Look at us.
Oh, you guys are twins.
Literally
Twinning.
Allie, where are your glasses?
Perfect. Here are your mics.
I know.
Denim moment.
There you go.
Great. So, congratulations, 25 years. That is
Yeah,
huge.
so great.
Yeah, so amazing.
Congrats.
And like, I just want to know if you can give us some of like the backstory about what inspired you. I know the first issue ever, you guys Xeroxed that and stapled it together yourselves in the offices of Nickelodeon. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds so much fun.
Trade secret, don't tell them.
Our first investors.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
No, not really. I mean, they paid for the magazine to get Xerox
that
and
counts.
stapled
That counts.
surreptitiously.
Yeah. So what inspired you to do that? Make it so I mean, obviously you weren't getting paid to do that. It came from your heart.
Yeah, we didn't actually become a business for the first 7 years. We were doing it as a side
Labor of love.
as a labor of love, as a fun project. You know, we did it starting in 1993. That's why it's 25 years now. And back then, women's magazines were such an important part of the media, and it was one of the only media things that were made just completely by women for women. So they played a really important role in the culture. But these magazines were all just about fashion and beauty and how to please your man. And none of them seemed to recognize that this whole thing called feminism had happened. And they made most people who looked at them feel bad. They make women feel bad, like they weren't enough, like they weren't good enough. So we wanted to change that. We wanted to make a magazine that was, from a feminist perspective, so aware, you know, woke, and and that was not just about fashion and beauty, and that recognized feminism, and was fun, and most of all made women feel good when they finished reading it. Yeah. So we just asked a bunch of friends at the office to write something about their lives that they weren't seeing reflected anywhere else, and then we had some friends who were designers at Nickelodeon, including Laurie here, and asked them if they would lay it out for us. There was this new thing called desktop publishing back then, so you could do that. And then we Xerox and stapled 500 copies, and we sent them out there into the world for $1 a piece, and people bought them. And we ended up having to Xerox and staple another 500. So we were onto something that kept us going.
And that's obviously, you know, such a meaningful thing to be writing about and talking about. I know as a woman who looks at magazines, it can obviously feel stale sometimes to see, you know, all about how to please your man, like you said. What was sort of like the process once you had started it of keeping it growing? And like, was there a point where you were like, wow, this is really happening, we're doing it? Did you know, people were talking about it?
It was sort of, it went slowly, piece by piece. Since we couldn't pay any of our writers, we would always just put out a call for submissions in each issue with a theme, like the next issue is going to be about fun. Right. So that way, if people wanted to write something and be published on that particular theme, they could do it and know that, like, we would say bust, like crime doesn't pay back then. And so we would just grow it little by little each time. Laurie knows a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we got a little bit of money, we would put it into the next issue. But we started to hear from people like, oh, I want to write for you guys. And I don't remember, did Courtney? She's like, I want to write something. Courtney Love was like, I want to write something for you guys. Yeah. And probably 1995, we're like, sure, that's great. So, you know, the word was getting out. People were really loving it. And we just kept going. So it was like, you know, when people would tell you, this is great, it changed my life, it was really like inspiring for us to keep going, even though there was no money, and it was just like for the glory of it, I guess.
And women's rights are always important, but I think right now a lot of people are calling this like the third wave of feminism with the Me Too and Time's Up, and then the, you know, focusing again on abortion rights and all these things. So have you seen your readers like be more advocates? Have you seen like an increase in readership because of kind of where we're at, or more engagement online?
Well, it's hard to get an increase in readership in magazines, unfortunately, since it's hard to get people to read magazines. Right. So we haven't seen that. But what is cool is that we
did have a Trump bump, though.
We did have a Trump bump.
Oh,
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I have a Trump bump. Right?
Get some spray on it.
But we have been asking celebrities about whether they're feminists from the beginning, when we started having celebrities. And we noticed for quite a while that celebrities, especially the bigger celebrities, would be wary of saying that they were feminists because they thought there would be a backlash. Feminists had really bad PR at the time.
Sometimes the PR people would say, don't ask them if they're a feminist.
Right.
And we'd be like, sorry, we're going to do it anyway. And they would get mad at us.
But what's happening now is that it seems like a lot of celebrities are embracing the term, and it's the opposite. They're afraid to say that they're not feminist or they're going to get a backlash, which is deserved, I think, because I don't understand how somebody could not want to call themselves a feminist. I mean, if you believe that there's sexism in the world, and you don't want things to stay that way, that makes you a feminist. You want to change things.
Absolutely.
Woo! So
Simple.
easy.
So you guys started in '93. In '92, I believe, was called the Year of the Women, had the women running for Congress, whatever. And like kind of going off Brittany's question, we are now seeing a record number of women running for Congress. Have you seen a change in women in like taking leadership roles, like how society has changed, like with your magazine, kind of over the past 25 years?
Definitely. I mean, it's just, I think now women are just, everyone that's not, the people that were normally not going into politics, thankfully are realizing that they have to. And a lot of those people are women, so that's been a good change that we've seen. But it seems very recent.
Yeah.
Well, I think also it's just a practical issue because I'm old enough that when I was a kid, the girls had to take home ec and the boys had to take shop. And when I was even littler, you weren't allowed to wear pants to school. Right. So, we finally now have a generation coming up and being of age to get these kinds of jobs who were raised in a more egalitarian situation, at least education-wise. And so that makes a difference. You have more people who are able to step into those and apply for those kinds of things now, which is really exciting. Yeah. I love to see that.
So let's talk about this party.
Yes.
Next week, you guys are throwing a big celebration. Why did you want to do that for your 25 years?
We deserve it. 25 years is a long time. So yeah, we're gonna have a sick party at the House of Yes on Tuesday night. A very special person is going to be DJing.
What time should we be there?
Well, it starts at 8.
Cool.
And it goes till 1.
And speaking of my last question, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez is getting the Golden Bra Award.
Actually, I don't think she wasn't
too
available.
busy.
She's too busy.
Too busy.
Good.
Well, that's okay. She'll stay
Understandable. She's running for an election.
I'm like, okay, you're off.
We'll give her.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be great. Jenny Slate is the host.
Jenny Slate, we love Jenny Slate.
So funny. We have a bunch of comedians doing stand-up. We have Patty Harrison, Michelle Buteau,
Phoebe Robinson.
She's getting a Golden Bra. Eve Ensler is accepting a bra. She's great.
That's Love Lost in What I Wore, right? You wrote that right?
Vagina monologue.
Oh, Vagina monologue. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Did she do both? I don't know.
It sounds like an incredible
party.
party.
What is the Golden Bra Award?
Yeah.
It's just something we made up to honor cool feminists that we love. We did it 5 years ago at our 20th, and we gave one to Gloria Steinem and Kathleen Hanna.
Margaret Cho.
Yeah, Margaret Cho.
Fun.
So we were like, let's do this Golden Bra thing.
I love it.
Fun,
I love that.
That's so great. And I love that you guys are still print and digital. I think that's a really big deal. And my book, like my sister actually got me my first issue of Bust, and she's older than me, and it was like, I felt so cool. It was like, my older sister being like, read this. And I love that you can share a magazine in a way that you can't do that digitally. You could send a link, but it's just not as good.
It's not the same.
Yeah, like when you're in your room reading a magazine, it's like, I don't know, there's something magical about that. So how important is it to you to stay both print and digital?
I think the print, we're able to present a completely different kind of experience than you can get when you're online. When you're online, you're popping from story to story to story to story. A lot of times the same story is just getting circulated by all these different kinds of outlets. With the magazine, it's kind of like a curated experience. It's like watching a movie or something. Right. We have
more
a beginning,
relaxing.
a middle, and an end. It's like a what?
It's more relaxing.
Oh, I thought you said it's more like a rock show. It's more like a rock show. You get to unplug, and you could just sit with this content where we really present a whole bunch of different kinds of things, and in the end result is that you're going to feel pretty great usually. People feel good. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You won't cry. But it's it gives you a different kind of experience than just hopping around on the internet looking at stories, and I think that's important. We've got photography and illustrations and stuff like that you get on the internet this big, but you can cut it out and
it's good to get off the phone. I think everybody's feeling that kind of sick feeling, like I've been looking at my phone for hours now. So I feel like this is a really nice.
And you've had amazing women like Constance Wu on the cover too.
Yeah.
So
She's our current
current
cover gal.
So cool.
Also it's tough times for people who are sensitive to what's going on with the government and how badly they're treating people, and we're all out there fighting and resisting, but it can be really exhausting. And I think just sitting down with a magazine does give you a chance to sort of recharge. I think you need to make it part of your self-care routine, basically, is what I'm saying. Everybody needs it.
I love that on Sunday, do a deep condition.
Yeah,
The
magazine.
Absolutely.
I love it. Debbie and Laurie, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
It's been so great to have you.
Thanks so much for having us.
And be sure to head to bust.com to learn more about the brand and their 25th anniversary celebration.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Nice meeting you.
All right, guys, moving on. Oprah has come out with a frozen pizza in addition to her comfort food line, and it is so good. Queen Oprah makes everything in our lives better, so her pizza is made with cauliflower and is guilt-free. Let's take a look at a clip of Oprah's delicious frozen pizza.
The mission of Oh That's Good is to bring delicious comfort food with a nutritious twist to all of America When you find something great, I always want to share it. That is my inspiration. One night I was at dinner and I'd made cauliflower, whipped it. So I was trying to pretend that the whipped cauliflower was mashed potatoes. And I thought, what if the cauliflower actually was in the mashed potatoes? Oh, that's a good idea. So that's why we called it, Oh, That's Good.
Oh, that's good.
Wow, that's good.
I love bread. I love bread.
I love bread.
You know, guys, she may not be running for president, but she is giving us healthy pizza. Oprah delivering once again. I love this. I wish we had it right here with us.
I wish we had
I
it.
can't wait to try it. I'm all about this.
And guys, it's so cheap. It's only like $6.99.
Yes.
I was like, not only is she making us healthier, but she's helping our wallets. Oprah is amazing.
So Oprah. This is so Oprah.
It's so Oprah.
Just the way she delivers every line couldn't be more Oprah. She's like a parody of herself.
Yes.
Right.
That's what it's like. She's so out of control, and we like it.
But-
like it's just like she's like, I'm gonna make food, and we're like, yes.
But also, like, it's inspiring. Like, healthy pizza crust? Yes! Oh my God! Like, I'm crying. Yeah, Oprah. I love her.
While we're like, she is making us healthy, she's also proving, again, to be the most amazing businesswoman in the world. We know a couple years ago, she paid $42 million for stake in Weight Watchers after she had been their spokesperson. And now she's moving into her own line of healthy foods. And so she's already made, I think, $300 million off of that Weight Watchers situation, okay? And now she's getting into her own healthy line of food, so she's just gonna make even more money. I mean, she is so savvy and in touch with what people want and need, and like using, again, her own weight journey, her own personal stories to connect with people.
Yeah.
And like, I wanna buy this pizza I don't know.
I can't wait to buy the pizza to try it. I wanna know what it's like to just be her every day. Like, I wanna know Saturday morning, when she doesn't have work to do that day, what is it like to just be in her house? What's she doing? Like, what is her chef making for her? She's hanging with her dogs.
Well, I can tell you, she goes out into her house. She has like the 12 disciples trees. She likes to read. She has a lot of books, if you don't know. And then she also likes to go to her garden and pick out fresh vegetables, and then she shows them to her people on Instagram. That's what she does every day.
So cute.
Look,
I love that.
I didn't even know we had that photo.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And her Super Soul Sunday podcast is amazing.
Great.
What is that podcast?
So she's a podcast that basically every Sunday almost that she interviews everyone from like
Deepak Chopra
to Howard Schultz to Brian Grazer to like she interviews everyone in any industry and just has these like really intuitive conversations about like their career, but also like the themes and the spiritual aspect of their journeys, which she's just Oprah. I mean, she's amazing.
She gets people to go on and to share like their innermost secrets in their journey, and you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like
Howard Stern, but
well,
The different tactics, though. Different tactics.
Like a different kind of
Howard
story.
Stern is not making us pizza.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Oprah is amazing, and her obsession with food really makes me happy.
Yeah. I don't know if you like. I used to watch her show, and like, do you remember when she pulled out the wagon of fat? And she was like, she put on those skinny Calvins, and then like the way she sort of like has gone up and down, and she's been so public about it.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised this didn't happen sooner, honestly.
Totally.
I'm like surprised that she waited this long to have her own healthy food line.
But maybe it's like I'm not a frozen food expert, but there's no artificial ingredients, and so maybe the technology or whatever you want to call it, the cooking, the food's better now that she was able to present something that she can.
Shelf life is shorter.
Shelf life, maybe that she can like. I'm sure if you're Oprah, you're very particular what you choose to do. So maybe she feels like now it's right because she can make something she's proud of.
I think also it's a time where people are more open to that stuff because I used to have to fight with my family to make them eat things like cauliflower pizza, and now they're like, okay, it's vegan. All right, Shannon, you're weird, but we'll do it. And it's like, I think for now, it's like the first time where like, stiff people who love meat are open to eating vegetables.
Right, it's becoming cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it has become cool now.
I'm still
Veggies are in.
Veggies are hot.
Yeah, a couple things. I think one, this is actually a big thing for people who don't have a lot of money to spend on food. I think this is actually a pretty prominent thing she's actually doing to help a demographic of people who probably can't afford to go to these vegan restaurants and stuff.
$7.
Yeah. And two, I read this quote that she said, like basically she was trying to decide what is the most popular food group, and they decided on pizza. I just want to say, do you guys agree with that?
Oh,
do you think pizza is the most?
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
So what she was talking,
I love pizza,
what Oprah was talking about was She had asked people about if they liked hamburgers, hot dogs, or pizza best in the context of which is like the most popular American dish. Yeah. And for me, it's hands down pizza.
Yeah, I think pizza, I would argue pizza is the only food that a person can have as a personality. Like, have you met that person who's like, pizza, I love pizza, and that's all they are. Their room is covered in pizza. And they're like, what are you doing tonight? Getting wasted eating pizza. And like, that's like a type of person, but you don't know anyone who's like, cheeseburgers, I'm cheeseburgers. Like, it's the only food. Really? Is that your personality?
I have cheeseburger pillowcases.
More than
No, I'm joking. I love cheeseburgers.
More than pizza.
I love cheeseburgers more than pizza.
Really?
Wow.
Every time I go to a restaurant, no matter how nice it is, my first instinct is to order a cheeseburger.
Oh my
I don't do it, but I want to.
You're so cute. I'm imagining you as Jughead right now, and I think it'd be so cute to have that comic redone with you as Jughead.
Just eating.
See, Brittany, I'm with you on that. Like when I go to a restaurant, first instinct hamburger, but the best pizza I ever had trumps the best hamburger I ever had, and pizza's almost a more regular thing. Like when you're drunk on a Saturday night and you just go to Dollar Pizza or whatever.
Where do you
Keep going.
Where do you get it? I mean, delivery, pizza delivery.
Cheeseburger.
Okay, if you're having a party, people over, you're not going to let's get 50 hamburgers.
Sliders.
Honestly, you're right. I do love sliders too.
I'm not wrong.
The hamburger lobby's here right now.
If you're drunk and you want a cheeseburger, where do you go?
I will straight up
somewhere.
walk into a diner.
Yeah.
There's a place called Jimbo's in Harlem. I love it so much. They have fed me many a time. I'll step into a McDonald's if I have to. I just love a cheeseburger.
Honestly, this is my Sophie's choice. I'm really proud of you for defending cheeseburgers because I get it, because I really love both.
This is not really your Sophie's choice. We remember the context of that novel. Her having to choose between two children in World War II.
So I was making a joke. It was a joke.
And it was a bad one. And it's time for our other special guest. Don Hardy is a documentary filmmaker best known for co-directing the feature docs The Human Experiment, Witch Hunt, and Love, Hate, Love. Now he's back to introduce us to a group of unique canine characters with the film Pick of the Litter. The film follows a litter of puppies from the moment they're born and begin their quest to become guide dogs for the blind. Let's take a look.
You ready to go work? Let's go.
The dogs that we're considering are really the best of the best.
It's what they were bred and raised to do.
If their person is in harm's way, they have to make the decision not to take that command.
There's 3 boys and 2 girls. Patriot, Potomac, Primrose, Hoppet, and Phil.
I think you're a bit of a celebrity already.
Puppy raisers teach them manners, teach them foundation, and expose them to the world.
I'm a veteran, so Patriot is going to be my best friend.
You need to do a good job because someone's putting their trust and faith in this animal.
You never know which make it all the way through to guide. It could be one, it could be none.
Can you please just be good?
Lots of things to work on.
The major challenge with Potomac is he'll lunge and jerk me off balance.
I'm on the fence with Patriot. He's intense.
A little bit nervous. That's 2 fails for Phil today.
I don't know if he's gonna make it.
We've got testing on Friday.
Primrose, we're up. You make us proud, okay?
Pop it forward. Good girl.
I think I've seen enough.
A lot don't make it, and it is heartbreaking to have a dog cut.
It's not easy to be visually impaired, and the cane can help, but it's not as great as a fuzzy face and a wet nose.
This is Megan calling from Guide Dogs.
We're excited to find out if it's a yes or a no.
Good boy. Good boy.
Please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Don Hardy and Ashley Hertzig. You guys.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us. That trailer looks so amazing. Even looking at the cover, the puppies are just so cute. Please tell us a little about the premise of the film and your inspiration for making it.
Yeah, we had this idea to try to tell the story of Guide Dogs for the Blind, an organization based in Northern California where we are, through just one litter of puppies and following them from the day they're born up to see if which ones can make it all the way to become guide dogs.
Well, And what happens, like, what does a puppy have to do wrong to not graduate?
Well, it's a variety of things. It could be things like grabbing food or things off the ground, or it could be a medical issue that develops, like maybe a food allergy. There's so many things that could eliminate them from becoming a guide dog for the blind. They can still go on and have amazing careers working for another organization or become a really great pet, but only that cream of the crop can be a guide dog for the blind.
Is it a small percentage that are actually able to become, you know, seeing eye dogs?
Only about 40% make it all the way.
Okay.
So yeah, it's difficult training.
And what does that training consist of? I'm curious.
Oh, everything from basic commands, the stop, left, right, to very advanced things like we were just talking about a bit, a thing called intelligent disobedience, where a dog is trained to behave, to obey commands 100% of the time until that moment where their visually impaired partner could be in harm's way, like not seeing a staircase coming up, or traffic, or as Ashley just mentioned, a train platform that you're getting too close, where the dog then disobeys to keep their person safe. And that's really, I mean, think about that, a dog being able to make that judgment call and say, whoa.
Yeah. Superheroes.
Yeah, they really are.
And I see that they all look like Labradors in this photo. Is that the best breed to train for this sort of service, or are there other breeds that are also successful?
That is the most successful. And Guide Dogs for the Blind, the organization we profile, only uses golden retrievers, labs, and golden lab mixes. Okay. Yeah, they've had the best success with those.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think that, one, they're very friendly dogs and approachable dogs, and that's something that they want. They used to use German Shepherds, but they found that people were apprehensive of them sometimes. So they moved on to these type because they're so friendly and outgoing and just personable. They can adapt to many situations, and yeah. Just tremendous dogs.
Ashley, you've been with Yuri since 2014, right?
Yeah.
And I know that's based off these cards that you made. I love that you made these so you can hand to people when they want to ask you questions. I think it was so brilliant. What's it been, was it like kind of like an automatic connection with Yuri, or did it take a little time for you two to warm up together?
It was pretty automatic. When I first met him, I have never really been exposed to large dogs, and the first day was covered in drool and dog hair, and I was like, what did I get myself into? And then I got a lint roller, and the next day it's like I just fell in love with him.
Aww. What is the biggest thing you'd like people to know about having a guide dog?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think it's really important for people to know that when he's wearing his harness, he's working. Right. And we ask you not to pet or distract the guide dogs while they're working, because it could put myself and also it could endanger him. And it's really important that he's fully aware and not distracted by, anyone or anything.
Does he know when he's working? Like when you take off his vest, does he kind of just like loosen up a little bit?
Oh yeah. If his harness was off right now, he would be on his back with his legs in the air, like wiggling around. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
That. I love that too. It actually says on the card that you recently graduated with, well, Yuri as well, graduated with your master's from NYU. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I think we even have a photo of that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that!
Oh my God,
how amazing is that photo? You guys both in cap and gown. I love that. Congratulations. We are fellow NYU alum as well. So.
Fellow NYU, you're bringing pride to NYU for sure with that picture.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
What was your master's in?
Social work.
Oh,
great.
Yuri attended every class and slept through every class. He's very qualified.
Very qualified.
So smart, I can tell. I love it.
Will you tell us a little bit about the process of filming this documentary?
Yeah, we started right there with the birth, and then tried to document everything that went on as the training evolved. And also the connections that the dogs make with these puppy raisers. When they leave campus, the main headquarters there, they go to these volunteers. And the volunteers are the ones you see a lot on the street. And for the first 12 or 14 months, they take them into their homes, they give them the basic skills, and socialize them. And then they return them for the advanced training at the Guide Dogs Center. And we just carried it all the way through. And it was a roller coaster ride. There's so much that happens throughout these journeys where the dogs do good, dogs do bad, or they have to be moved to a different person. We just went along for the ride. And I think the uneasiness that we felt in making it of what's going to happen next is now what viewers are experiencing when they see it. It really, every screening that we've done, people are gasping when things happen. They're crying. They're cheering for their favorites. It's been a very special film to start showing to audiences.
Dogs evoke such a specific, sensitive set of emotions in so many people. You know, when you see like pets, it's just.
Well, to me, I just know nothing about this, and I've always wondered, of course, and the training process to make guide dogs. It must be so fascinating. What other responses are you getting from people when they first see this film?
A lot are that we see these dogs every now and then on the street, and we wonder.
Right.
And that curiosity, people are now coming up to us after the screenings and saying, "I thank you for laying this out," because even folks that have been invested in maybe one part of the guide dog's process before have never seen it laid out end to end. So it's that journey, and people are really embracing it.
You mentioned volunteers, so what is the best way to find out more about volunteering or just supporting these organizations?
Yeah, guidedogs.com is the website, and you can go there and find out about becoming a puppy raiser, which is a great volunteer job, and the more puppy raisers there are, the more dogs that can be made every year, and then that'll, for folks like Ashley, there's more people that will receive these dogs. Right now, the waiting list is about a year to receive a dog, so it's lengthy, and so the more people that volunteer, that process can be sped up. And that's a great resource. Yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Don and Ashley. Don't miss this heartwarming documentary in select theaters and on demand August 31st. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Don and Ashley.
Thank you so much.